Hi, my name's Bridget, and I've been helping parents with their baby sleep since 2015. I've spent countless nights in homes with parents as they navigate making sleep changes, and it can be tricky sometimes, but I'm here to help you with that. Today, we're going to focus on how you can mentally prepare yourself to bring about changes with sleep. It's not always easy. You might be conflicting with yourself, with your partner, even other opinions, right? Or maybe you're like me and started searching online and found so much advice, but that advice was often conflicting the other advice I read, right? Is it safe? Am I going to harm my baby? Am I going to ruin their attachment? What am I going to do to them by doing this sort of thing, right? It can be really confusing. How can we mentally prepare ourselves in this world of so much information and so many opinions to go through something like this and to change something? A major perspective shift when you're preparing yourself for sleep training is changing this. We no longer put our baby to sleep. We're getting them ready for bed. We're not putting our baby back to sleep in the night. We're setting them up so they can fall back asleep without so much intervention from us. And as you'll see with any kind of sleep training, that does often mean a lot of work on your part with sleep environment, sleep timing, how the routine goes, how do we respond to these wakings? That's where your control is. But we can't control how long it takes your baby to fall asleep, right? And we can't prevent all night wakings, but you can decide what happens next, which is pretty exciting because you can control that. And so to help yourself mentally prepare, shift that perspective. Again, we're not putting our baby to sleep, we're getting them ready for bed so that sleep will come. If you read about, explore, seek out advice about sleep and it's not aligning with you, you feel really uncomfortable with it and it's sending off alarm bells for you, that's not for you, right? That's not a good option for you. There are so many ways that you can introduce changes around sleep. You must find a way that aligns with your parenting style. Now, that said, bringing about change can bring along some discomfort, right? It's very common to feel nervous or a little different about it because it's different, especially if you're someone who has been helping your baby to sleep in one way for so long and now you're thinking about changing it, right? Just last night, I was at the home of a baby who's 14 months old who has never slept outside of the parents' bed, between the parents. And so last night was night one in the crib, right? Which can feel really overwhelming. Are they going to do it? There's no way. Of course, she did it, as they always do. And she did beautifully, just like your baby can too. So trust your instincts. They're not wrong. Next is to choose a date that actually works well for you. A big part of sleep training is the follow through and having the stamina to really go through changes, right? Because if your baby is someone who maybe they go down easy in the evening or maybe not, but they wake up several times and you know how in the night to settle them back to sleep. The thing with sleep training or bringing about new changes is that your child could still wake at those intervals, that frequency, but they might be awake much longer, right? So if you have a big meeting the next day or a trip on the weekend, that's probably not the right time to sleep train. So instead, to do right by you and your baby, make sure you choose an ideal date that works well for you because it's going to be a rough couple nights, right? That's the reality of it. Remember your why as well. When you're thinking about, sleep's not going so great for me, I need to bring about these changes. Remembering the reasons that brought you to this in the first place, right? So for example, the family I was with last night, one of their main reasons why is they have other children to watch, and it can be hard to have a parent in that bed with that baby to make sure they don't roll out, right? That's really hard to do. Along with broken sleep and along with one parent can no longer put the other children to bed because they're with the baby, all night long. And that can be hard on the other kids too. Just trying to remember the reasons why. And some might be, in my books, it was like this: I'm not doing well with this broken sleep. My baby's not doing well, right? They're not able to recover from a common cold as quickly as they should because their sleep is just so terrible. We need long stretches of consolidated sleep to have restorative sleep for our growth and our recovery from any of the many things we deal with, right? Even tolerating teething pain, all these things that our little ones go through. So try to remind yourself of why we need to do this. I need to do this for my baby to get the sleep that they so desperately need. Lean on your support network, the people in your life who you feel you can talk to about this and say, hey, I'm going through this. It might be emotional for me, but I want to be able to lean on you, right? And sometimes we have to look in different places for those types of people. I remember at the time I had a very good friend who was very against sleep training. So that's not someone I was going to talk to about something like this because I already knew what they thought, right? And you might have a similar experience. And finally, be kind to yourself. This can be a really heavy part of parenting, a really emotional part of parenting, and just give yourself some grace to be patient, to choose a way that feels right for you, and to seek help if you need it. People like us are here to help parents navigate this one specific thing, right? Sleep. That's the one thing we're focused on. What can we do to help your little one and you get the rest that you all need? And sometimes it's the simplest thing ever. You can look at all our resources or book us 24/7 at betterbedtime.ca. The next few nights are going to go by anyway. You might as well do something.